Hey y'all, it's your girl Shonda White, and thanks for tuning in. It's been an incredible and epic year. It's 2017, and we're only in like the second week of it, but I'm just so thankful, and I just wanted to kind of share a few thoughts, a few feelings. I'm going to try to do more videos for you guys because I know you've been asking for them, and so I'm trying to give you all what you need and what you want, but I want it to always come from a genuine place because I just can't manufacture stuff because then it's not real, it's not natural. So I want to make sure that what I give to you and what I share with you about my own life is just genuine and it comes from a genuine place. But today I just wanted to talk about dealing with delayed dreams. A lot of us, we have goals, we have visions, we have things that we want to do, but sometimes they just don't happen as fast as they need to. And I have a really, really great story to share about that and what I've learned from all of that. But, a lot of times we think that just because it's delayed or just because we have to experience some detours that it's not going to happen. That's not necessarily true because a lot of times God is grooming us in those seasons and in those times when we are trying to figure things out and when we're wondering like, Lord, when is it going to happen for me? When am I going to achieve what I know that you've called me to do, and when am I going to follow after that purpose? When am I going to have that opportunity, or when am I going to fulfill the call that you have in my life? And so I just want to share with you guys some things that I went through over these last past years that all lead up to what occurred last week in 2017 for this year. So all last year I prayed a sincere prayer that the Lord would just open up doors for me, that doors that I couldn't open, because sometimes we have the power of God and we have it in us, but sometimes we need him to do things that even we don't have our own, that we can't do with our own strength, or that we can't do based on our degrees or based on our connections or based on how much money we make or education. Sometimes we need God to do things that are above and beyond anybody's control, and it's out of man's control, things that only he can touch and make great. And that's when you really see God's favor shine through. And that was one of my prayers specifically for this year, that he would just open up doors that I wouldn't even be able to open myself, or that no man could open. And he made that happen. And I appeared on a nationally syndicated radio show just the other week, the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. And I was so grateful and so thankful because I'm going to tell y'all, like, I didn't have anything to do with it. I prayed about it and the Lord opened it up, and I'm going to save that story for a whole other video in terms of how that happened and how that came about. But today I just want to really talk about delayed dream. But I say all that to say because there was a time some years ago when I wanted those things to happen, and I had prayed similar prayers to that, but it didn't happen when I thought it should have happened. And it's funny because a lot of times we think things are supposed to happen when we want them to happen, and God is like, I'm not ready for that door to open yet, or I'm not ready for you to walk through that door yet. And sometimes it's just a matter of, we're not ready. We're not ready to receive what the Lord has for us because maybe he's grooming us and helping us to shape us into that person they want to be, so that when we do reach that point, we'll know how to handle it better, and we'll be a better and different person when we reach that. So a few years ago, I had just moved to Atlanta. I met my husband, obviously, like a year or so later. We started talking, and then we got married. And I'm gonna tell y'all, like, Atlanta was like my dream come true. Like, it was between Atlanta and California, really. But the way that things happened, I ended up in Atlanta based on a job assignment. And so I moved down here, I met him, we started dating, and then we got married. And then that was also in the midst of the recession. It was like, boom, crash, the recession hit. So my husband was fresh out of law school. He's thinking that his path is going to go a certain way, and it just wasn't happening like that. I was thinking my path was going to go a certain way, and it was like starting a little bit, but then it was like, okay, boom, recession. We're going to have to up and leave because the jobs here in Atlanta just weren't popping. Like, nobody was getting anything. And so Eric comes to me, my husband, and he's like, listen, we're going to have to move somewhere else because this is just what it is right now. And I'm like, wait a minute. First of all, this was not a part of my plan. I probably had been in Atlanta for roughly 2 or 3 years at that point. One, that was not a part of my plan. Notice I said my plan. I wasn't even worried about our, because I was being selfish a little bit. Number two, I'm talking to the Lord, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, you want me to move to this other place that I am not familiar with. I've only heard really bad things about, which I come to find out all of that stuff wasn't true. Like some of it was true, but it wasn't all bad. But I was like, you want me to pack up my stuff and go somewhere like into unknown territory that I don't even know like what's there? I don't have any friends there. There's nobody I know really. Like I don't want to go, but I had to because that's what was best for my husband and I at that moment. Well, needless to say, we packed up all our stuff and we did it because listen, it was the reception. It was the recession, so you had to do what you had to do. So we packed up and we went, but I wasn't the most pleasant. I was not like, okay, God, like, I trust your will. I trust your plans. No, I was totally like, this is not what I had planned. And I was like really kind of upset. And I can admit it. I can be real. I was upset. And I was upset a little bit with my husband. And I was upset with God because I was like, well, you said if I pray and ask for it, that you would give it to me and that I would receive it. So like, what's going on? Like, and then why did you kind of like start it a little bit, start my goals and my dreams, but then you kind of was like, hold on, I got a little detour for you. And looking back now, I'm like, you know why? Because God was like, I need to check her real quick. I need to know that she actually truly depends on me, considering the detours and if I put in a delay and if I take her on a different route, is she gonna really trust me? Because I'll be honest, at that moment, that first 6 months to a year, I was no good. Like I was no good. I was very depressed because I felt like, things weren't going my way, which was really kind of selfish of me. But also because I was in a city where, again, I felt alone and all I had was my husband and I, which was great because we grew together. But still, like when you're not around your family or your friends or, just people that you're used to being around, it can be very difficult. And especially if you're in a location where you never meant to be anyway, like that can be really tough. So I was kind of like down and out about it. And, it took me a long time to really be okay with the situation. And I was like, okay, I finally was like, okay, Lord, I need to trust you. And I really learned to trust him. I really learned to trust his hand in my situation, even when I couldn't see it. I learned to say, okay, Lord, I really don't know what you're doing, but I do know that you're in control. And I do know that you wouldn't send me somewhere without a purpose. You wouldn't give me this task if you didn't have a purpose for this and if there wasn't a reason behind it. So I had to really learn to sit in it. It was tough and it was very uncomfortable. But sometimes those uncomfortable situations will make us more comfortable with God and we'll get more close with him because we realize that's the only person and that's the only entity that I can rely on right now, because I couldn't rely on my family friends. And some of my family friends, they came down, they was like, Shonda's not doing well. Like she seems upset. She seems sad. They came to visit me, but nothing would work. It would be like temporary, but they could see through it. They're like, she's just not her bubbly self. Like something's not right. But, I had to really sit in it and I said, okay, this ain't about me. This is about my husband and us and what we're building together. Yes, the plans changed, but that doesn't mean that I still can't reach that final destination just because my plans changed. So my husband, who is so amazing, he just kept saying, Shonda, we gotta trust him. Like, we gotta trust God. I'm gonna get you back to Atlanta. We're gonna get back to Atlanta. We're gonna start a family, have our kids, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay. And so, as the years passed, I started praying more. I started meditating more. I started studying. And I finally did a fast at one point because, we kept trying to get back to Atlanta. We were trying to, throwing out our resumes every which way and like, harassing people, trying to get jobs, who you know. And finally I was like, you know what? I don't have control over this. Like whatever the door is that God's going to open, he's going to open that door and we'll be able to walk through. And it's going to be seamless. It's not going to be forced. It's not going to be something that, I'm going to have to beg and plead for. He's just going to open it up and we're going to just walk on through. It's going to be that seamless. And so I started fasting and I got off for social media for like months, which was different for me. My husband really isn't on social media like that. So, but for me, I was like, I need to clear my mind of all of this. And I kid you not, during that fast, the Lord, he showed up. He was already there. We always say he showed up, but real talk, he really was already there. But when I say he showed up, I mean like he truly, like, I could tell he was listening to me because everything that I had prayed for, he made it happen. And so my husband ended up getting a job here. I was able to transfer back And not only, I didn't even have to look for a job because I was able to transfer back and work from home. So I was like, wow, Lord, like for real. Like, so not only do you move us back to Atlanta, to where we want it to be, to where we want to start our family and grow and be around our other family and friends, but you also made it so that, it would be as seamless. Like you did things that I wouldn't have been able to do on my own, because I saw people getting turned down, for working from home. And I saw people not have the opportunities that I had. And I saw, the opportunities and the doors that are opening up for my husband. And I was like, wow, Lord, like for real, like you did, like I knew it was evident that it was God. And, fast forward 3 or 4 years later, here I am doing the things that I prayed about so long, because I was like, Lord, I just want to inspire and encourage women. I want to empower them, and I want to have this platform, but I want to use this platform to not only encourage and empower them, but to lead them to you and to glorify your name, because I realize that everything I have and everything that I do and everything that I am is all because of him. Like, real talk, that's it, because the flesh is a mess, okay? But God, he takes that flesh and he's able to do extraordinary things with ordinary people. And now to know that I was on a national radio show last week, and this is just the second week of January, mind you, of the year. And God is like, okay, Shonda, you trusted me then. You trusted me last year. You prayed and prayed. You keep trusting me. You've been in my word. You've been studying. You've been talking to me. Listen, the more you keep trusting me, the more you're going to see things come to fruition. So when you're dealing with like delayed dreams, just trust and know that like just because it's delayed doesn't mean it's denied. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen, because sometimes God has to take us through. Sometimes he wants to take us around, because listen, I could have easily started doing things back when I thought I should have been doing them, and I could have got a big head, and the Lord is still working on me, because like I said, I don't consider myself anything special. I just know that I'm a child of God, and I'm a vessel, and he's trying to use me. But had he done those things when I thought I wanted them and when I thought I needed them, I could have like taken it a different way. I wouldn't have been as appreciative. Just like finding my husband. Like, if I didn't have to kiss a few frogs to get to him, I probably wouldn't have appreciated the genuine, real love and the happy marriage that we have now. Because, all because I wanted something when I wanted it. Because we have to trust God's timing. We have to trust that he knows what's best for us. We have to trust that even though, we can't see his hand moving in our situation, we have to know that he's moving. There's a quote that I've seen on Instagram and social media a lot, and I've posted it too, where it says, God is working on 1,000 things behind the scenes, but you probably only know about 10 of them. I really only know about 1 or 2 of them that he's probably working on. But the fact that I know that God is working on like 1,000 things that I can't even see, like when the Ricky Smiley opportunity came up, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that at all. But I was ready and I was prepared, because like they say, when you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. That's how I said it. I kind of jacked it up, but y'all know what I mean. When you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So when that opportunity came, I was ready, because I trusted and I believed God. Even though people were like, well, what if it doesn't happen? Or what if you don't make it this far? Or what if nobody likes this? Or listen, no, I have to believe that God's going to do that for me. I have to believe that God is going to make a way, and that he's going to bring my dream and my purpose and my gifts to fruition, and my vision. Like, he's going to come through. Like, come through, God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and he comes through. So again, I just want to encourage you, because if you're feeling like your dream is delayed, or you're feeling like things aren't going as fast as you want them to, trust that they're going as fast as God needs them to go. Because there's something that God is working on inside of you. There's something that God wants to do inside of you and through you, so that your testimony will be even greater once you reach that place. And as you're going towards that mountain. Because listen, this is just the beginning for me. Like, I'm like, Ricky Smiley was amazing, but I'm like, okay, Lord, what else you got? Like, I'm praying. It doesn't stop there for me. I'm like, whatever you have for me, I'm listening. I'm ready to go. So I hope that helps somebody out there. Of course, if you want to connect with me, make sure you follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Shonda B. White. And also on my website, ShondaBrownWhite.com, as well as on Facebook, Life and Love, Shonda Brown White. And I thank you all again for tuning in. Again, I just want to bring you that life and love, real talk, and hopefully encourage someone, dealing with delayed dreams and any other types of things that you may be going through. So I love you all, and thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day.